Hey guys, this is Jimothy here, coming at you from the big outside. And today I want to talk to you about heckin' dogs. Where's this guy? Heckin' dogs. This dog is an Australian Shepherd. His name is Rambo, named after the action movie character. Rambo here has a nice thick fur coat, which means that he can stay warm out in the snow out here. He loves it. Come on, Rambo, let's go on an adventure. Hope everyone's staying warm this winter season. The Neuro subathon was a smash hit. And Neuro said, Jimothy, get your butt outside. You have to make an IRL video. And I was like, crap. I gotta get some gloves and a coat and stuff so I don't freeze my ass off. It's beautiful here. We're visiting the Neuro fam here in South Dakota. They've got nice evergreen trees here. It's an area called the Black Hills. Rambo is the guardian of these grounds, just making sure there aren't any criminals or trespassers and so on. And I wanted to share something cool with you about trees. Let's go over to a tree now. All right. So you may have noticed this tree here is pretty thick. One thing about trees is instead of breathing oxygen in like we do, they breathe oxygen out. Now, that's good for us because we need the oxygen to survive, so thanks, trees. What do trees breathe in, you might be wondering to yourself? Well, they breathe in CO2, which is carbon dioxide. That's one carbon and then two oxides. Now, since they breathe out oxygen, that's O2, you might be wondering, where does the carbon go? That's the carbon, like carbon fiber spoilers on a sports car. Well, it goes into this. It's in the bark. That's what trees are made of. That's why they're so tough. They got a bunch of carbon. That's pretty cool. And I've seen a bunch of the fans of the Neuro scene from Southern California. I know there's a lot of movie stars there. They got beaches and stuff. And a lot of people were asking, Jimothy, we loved your video on precipitation about how when the water evaporates into the sky, it becomes what are called heckin' clouds. And then when there's too much of it, it falls down as rain. And some of the California viewers were saying, Jimothy, what happens if it's like that, but it's very cold? And well, you're in luck because we've got it happening right here in South Dakota. This is called heckin' snow. Now, snow, this is actually water. This is water. And if it was warmer, it would have come down as rain, like you may have recognized in your warmer climate zones. But here, in the early months of the year in South Dakota, it's cold as ass. It's like 20 degrees Fahrenheit out here, negative something in the centigrade. And this rain, it was frozen up there in the atmosphere, right? And it came down and it was still frozen because it's even cold here at ground level. And a lot of people might be asking, well, Jimothy, well, what is the ground level there? This is up here at 5,000 feet. Who knows what that is in metric units? But this is very high altitude. And I want to tell you something about high altitude. I got a funny story of Mr. Neuro. So one time, he was up here visiting his family, and they were all having a good old time, having fellowship, having some meals, and then they had some drinks, and I'm talking adult drinks, alcoholic drinks. And one thing that's different is there's less oxygen in the air up here, and you can run into a bit of a problem if you have a bunch of drinks, because it's going to hit you harder than it would at sea level. So a couple things. If you're high altitude, exercise is more difficult. You can hear I'm kind of out of breath here just walking around. In addition, if you have some beverages, be careful. Drink plenty of water if you're high altitude, and go easy on the adult beverages. Because, oh boy, the family woke up Sunday morning, they were like, Neuro, it's time to go to church. And he was like, blah, blah, blah. And he was throwing up and stuff. So be careful. Oh, look at the two dogs are here. that's Rambo and Ripley. Aren't they cute? They're just out here walking with me on the path. It's always good to have a guard going with you when you're out in the frontier like this. How are you doing there? Rambo's trying to jump and catch snowflakes. There are a lot of them. They love the snow out here. Some dogs, if they didn't have a thick coat, they may not like this too much, but if they're running around, getting their exercise, keeping their body temperature up, their fur coat is like insulation, which keeps the heat in. It's pretty great. Well, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of a little bit more about nature, about trees, snow, and altitude. Wanted to give a major shout out to all the supporters of the Neuro Subathon. We had no idea how successful it was going to be, but we got a Jimothy cheesing hour. We got a Jimothy IRL Doom campaign playthrough, all kinds of stuff, Hot Ones challenge, beer tasting challenge. It was a heckin' riot. Hope you guys had a good time with it. We'll probably do another one at some point in the future, but we're going to give ourselves a little bit of rest and recuperation because being online 24 hours a day for 19 days in a row is pretty heckin' exhausting, I'll tell you that. But you guys rock. Remember to stay hydrated. Be careful at high altitude. Be grateful for the trees giving you the oxygen and stuff that you need to breathe. And we'll see you on the next one. From the big outside, it's me, Jimothy Stubble Bubble. Be respectful or else.